Hello, beautiful beings. I don't remember changing the settings on my phone, but all of a sudden, when I'm sitting here getting present, ready to make a video, my video starts recording. I pushed my hair back or something. I'm sure it's the motion that I make in front of the camera that activates it, but I don't know how that happened. It hasn't usually ever done that. Okay, ancients. So last night, I'm just saying this just in case it was incredibly strange for you. Last night was so strange. The sleep was. I went to bed extra late. I don't usually go to bed late because I feel hungover if I go to bed after midnight. So I usually go to bed around 11:30, and I get up every morning at 8. The divine wakes me up at 8. I haven't had to set an alarm for a very long time. I've never, ever, ever been good at waking up early. So 8 o'clock is perfect to me. But last night, my dreams were all about getting up early because I'm up extra early this morning. I have a client that's coming from out of town, and I wanted to get her house clean for her and be gone by the time she gets back. And so I get to start early today. Anyway, so I was just asking the ancients, so what's the point? I've worked really, 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 really diligently over the years, because I have not been a morning person, to work on my attitude in the morning. And so for years and years and years, I would have like an Eckhart Tolle video ready to push play on the moment I woke up the next day, because my mind for a very long time was incredibly crazy. And by that I mean so active. I would have maybe 20 seconds in the morning before my mind would start picking up speed, and it would send out the search party for something to worry about. Just agonizing. I used to feel like I didn't want to go to sleep at night because I didn't want to wake up in the morning, just because of my mind. Not because of anybody around me. Well, sometimes it was people around me, but never my children. It was never ever because of my children. It was always just because of my mind. And so over the years, I learned different ways to I tried everything possible to quiet my mind. And that was one thing that really, really worked. And then after I had the awakening experience, I was listening to Muji for a long time. I don't anymore, but that's how it should be. If anybody comes into your life to help you along your life path, you shouldn't need them for the rest of your life. That's been my experience. We're here to help you along for a while, to light your path for a while, until you're lit up on your own and you can see your own path. Hopefully there will always be people that come in on our path and help us along. I still have that experience, even if it's a comment in my comment section. That helps light my path. So, and I've been getting some really beautiful ones lately, and absolutely zero shitty ones. Oh, they will come to help keep me balanced, like I told somebody on my channel. He's like, don't let this comment go to your head. And I was just like, I won't. There'll be plenty of shitty comments to keep me balanced. So what I would do for years and years is, the second I woke up, I would reach for my phone, turn it on, and then hit play on that video, and it would intercept all the thoughts that were coming in. They're saying that it gave my mind food for thought. So, because if the mind doesn't have something to focus on, then it's just chaos. At least mine used to be. And I finally also learned that I cannot make my mind be quiet. But also, Ramana Maharshi did teach me a couple days ago that it does take the mind to kill the mind. But I cannot think harder to make my mind be more quiet. That's obvious, right? That's just more thinking. It's turning my attention away from the thoughts back to presence, back to my natural state of being. And for that, I've needed guides to help me do that. And in my awakening experience, I had never ever listened to Mooji before, and he came up on my feed that morning, and I knew the divine had sent me somebody to help me, because I just felt like I was at the end of myself. And it was after, all my kids were gone, they were living on their own, and I'd been married for um 10 months at the time, and I was absolutely miserable. I was completely just jam packed into this body. And I had realized the day before Mooji came into my life that replacing bad thoughts with good thoughts, I believe that's like cognitive therapy. um I just learned how to do it just for sheer survival. I didn't know it was an actual therapy until later. But one morning I realized that replacing the bad thoughts with good thoughts would never ever keep me from going into what I called mental spin out. And I just fell to the floor in the fetal position, and I was just completely lost. I felt completely jam packed into this physical form. And then the next day Mooji showed up, and I had my awakening, the awakening experience. And and as I was laughing and crying and felt so angry, and all at once, all of a sudden the psychological mind completely collapsed, and there was nothing but pure undiluted silence, presence, my natural state of being. And I was seeing out of my eyes again, out from my heart space again. And it was like somebody had slid a board behind my eyes, blocking my mind from coming through for 3 blissful days. And I remembered who I was. I remembered that I was never this person. And then on the fourth day, on the third day, that's when Papa G came to me in a field behind where I was living. I was turning to come back to the house, and he appeared to me. I hadn't, in those first 3 days, I knew who he was because Mooji had spoke of him, because that's who Mooji remembered with. But I had never watched one of Papa G's videos. I didn't know he was unusually tall for an Indian man. And so when he came to me in the field, he was a part of my body, like half of my body. And as I was turning to go back to the house, he appeared, and he looked down at me, and I was looking up at him just in awe. And I could feel him too, because his essence, because he was a part of my body. And he said, "Your name is Mama G. You will help millions of people." I can never say it without crying. I swear, every time I tell that story, Papa G shows up. Thank you so much. So on the fourth day, I'm sure that Papa G came to me on the third day, because he knew that the psychological mind was going to come back with a vengeance. And there was a fire in my solar plexus the morning that I had the awakening experience with Mooji. A fire started. I had over 101 fever. My temperature was very high for the first 2 years of my ascension. And it was the beautiful flame burning up what's not. And so I was grateful that Papa G had come to me on the third day. I don't know if I would have been able to hear him on the fourth. Throughout all the terrifying experiences in my ascension, I think that was the very scariest, is on the fourth day when the mind came back. I felt eclipsed by it, and I was unconscious, and I didn't know how to get back. I didn't know how to remember again. And so of course I reached for Mooji, and I just hit a video. And it didn't matter ever whatever video I reach out to, if I've been in need, it's always the right one, no matter who it is. And the divine's pretty beautiful that way. So the first video, when I was just in full-blown panic, terror, I was terrified because my mind was so loud before, but in a way I was used to it, even though it was so agonizing. But then having remembered and having the quietness of our natural state of being, and having my mind in its natural state for 3 days of my mind in its natural state is, there's still thoughts, but they're not loud. I'm not identifying with most of them. I'm not giving my attention to them. I just feel absolutely rooted in peace, no matter what's going on mentally. So I listened to Muji, and within moments, he had helped me remember again. And that's the ascension process for me, in a nutshell, is from person to presence, person to presence, person to presence. They're saying from, and they've said this before, it's like going from stick shift to automatic. Because automatic is our natural state of being. And my mind, I feel, is in its natural state of being, 99% of the time, easily. Even when I'm going through a life lesson and it seems like I'm very upset, I only feel upset because I'm going through a lesson and I can't see things very clearly yet. But I always know I will. And also I feel upset at times when I'm going through a life lesson because there's way more mental activity than I'm used to now. And that triggers a bit of fear in me. But then I just say the fear prayer, remove this fear and direct my attention to what you would have me be. Works every time. And then I hold satsang with Ocean. I think that's it for now. Is that it for now, ancients? There's an endless way. If your mind is torturing you, if you don't remember your natural state of being yet, we would love to talk to you about that. That's that's my very existence. That's the reason that the divine is pouring through this physical form. That's the reason why the ancients are with me, because we're here to help you remember how quiet your mind can actually be and how beautiful life is. satsangwithmamaG@gmail.com. I'll never forget. I'll never forgive. I'll never not forgive. I will never agents, what's the word? I'll never say I'm sorry for getting emotional, because if you could feel the amount of joy that's coming through this physical form. I know I make it sound impersonal, because it really is impersonal. This is a physical form, even though I'm having this human experience. I just feel so much joy coming through this physical form that I just can't contain it. So it comes out as tears. It's a release valve. It's a pressure valve. Crying, whether angry or whatever emotion it is, it's really good to cry and maintain the balance of pressure in this body. Besides, they're saying that tears can be a real heart opener for other people. So, love you so much. So much. I have so much faith in you.